So a lot of the times people ask me that there's so much books available and reading around community cohesion. So what are the best books to read? Um, I've got three books here today, which I feel are quite important as a starter, good grounding in understanding what community cohesion is all about, but also where the idea of community cohesion came about from. The first book is by Professor Robert Putnam. It's called Bowling Alone, and Robert Putnam was the former dean at the Kennedy School of Government. He's currently the professor of social public policy at Harvard University. And what's really important about this book is it introduces the idea of social capital, and it sort of looks at how in America people are not engaging as much as they used to in civic life. Those interactions between people have changed over the years and deteriorated, and that's quite an important idea. And he introduces a very important phrase, social capital. And social capital is the sort of the networks and relationships in a society, and how people interact with each other. And what Robert Putnam the idea he was advancing is that the more we engage with different people and the more societies interact with each other, the more social capital there is within a society, it's better for reducing community tensions and making people feel more happier. And within social capital, there's two ideas. He talks about bonding capital and bridging capital. That are two very important ideas around community cohesion. So bonding capital is the bonds we have amongst people of a certain ethnic group, race, hobby or interest group. And bridging capital is the interactions we have with people who are outside our immediate race, ethnicity, hobby or interest group. And what Robert Putnam says is the more bridging capital there is in a society, the more that society will prosper. And that bonding capital, although it may be good amongst one group of people, what Robert Putnam says is that the more bonding capital there is, and if there's no bridging capital to counteract that, that bonding capital in itself can become quite toxic and inward looking. So a very, very important book to read, looking at the history of interaction in America around civic engagement and friendship. The second book I think is really important is Ted Cantle's book on community cohesion. Ted Cantle was commissioned by the government after the riots in 2001 to research and look at why the riots occurred and what learning can take place from them. So this book talks about community cohesion in the sense that it's something that's needed because it looks at how multiculturalism failed as an idea and as a concept, and how it left minorities marginalized and demonized. And the book looks at cohesion in four key areas. It talks about community cohesion being something around communities feeling a sense of belonging, having a shared vision, able to value each other, people having the aspiration to do whatever they would like and interact and achieve what they want in life. And also people taking part in civic society. So it's a very good understanding, a good grounding in the subject, and gives the reader a clear understanding of what we are trying to achieve through community cohesion. Third book I have here is by David. It's by Billings. Now the thing is that it's by Alan Billings, sorry. So the thing here is that, so the third book we have is by Alan Billings, and this is Alan Billings was a priest. He's done some work in Leicester and Sheffield in the 60s and 70s, and has been around witnessing quite a number of race riots and other sort of issues that we've had in this country. And what he argues is that we shouldn't blame religion for social unrest, because religion has always been there to build social capital. It's always been there to build um, the development of communities. And this is something I really agree with as a Muslim faith leader myself. If you look at, for instance, the church in this country, before the establishment of state education, before it became statutory, before the creation of the welfare state in 1942 through Beveridge, a lot of the work in this country was done by the church itself. And also nowadays, if you look at how so many different types of faith communities there are in Britain, they provide a staggering amount of resources and services to the population. So a lot of the things that Billings says in this book is very, very relevant, and it sort of looks at how religion can be used as a tool to further and advance community cohesion rather than seeing it as a hindrance. So these are the three books. You'll be able to buy them from any good retailer or Amazon.